good.
I don't know. I'm not listening.
I'll check one too. Hey y'all, hey, come on in, come on in. This is the Caravan of Dreams for VD. Y'all know what it is. It's Monday, it's 8 something. It's ice, it's cold. What else you got to do? Come on in. Be sure and like and share. Tell somebody that the Caravan of Dreams is on. All right, come on.
Is that me? Is that me? My bad. My bad.
All right, all right. Hey y'all, hey. Come on in, come on in.
I ain't really feeling that sound, man. Oh, yeah. Christian Forney, welcome in. Christy Paul Johnson, welcome in.
I think the sound issue is probably from the snow. Hey, Vanessa. Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. Thank y'all for joining us. We appreciate you. It's Monday. It's 8 something. Look, it's ice on the ground. You ain't got no reason to be driving. Where you got to go? Unless you're going down the street to Walmart or something like that. But y'all might as well come on and join us, right? Come on, come on. Be sure and like and share, like and share. Tell somebody that the Caravan of Dreams is on. All right. Marcus Jackson, Mr. Bird, how you doing? Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. All right.
Oh, well, sound pretty decent.
All right. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I really was wanting you to pull some stuff up, but you know,
Oh, you ain't,
come
hey,
on.
you ain't
What are you
said
doing?
nothing.
Oh,
Raise it up.
mhm,
Why?
too long.
Oh,
Hey, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Y'all come on in. We're about to get started. Um, so, all right. How about this weather? Um, Good old Texas weather. And seems like I don't know if were we in this position last year. I feel like it's kind of a repeat, and we almost should kind of be looking for this in the first couple of weeks of January or whatever. I'm trying to remember if that was the case. Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Yeah, seems like it was. Because I felt like we were snowed in or iced in or something before. So anyway, um, all right. So let's get started. All right, what everybody been doing today? I know some people had to work. I know it is official MLK Day, so I think we didn't get mail or anything like that, right?
I don't think.
Yeah. So banks were closed. So all that stuff you did on the weekend just didn't show up yet. So tomorrow it will. How about that? Okay. So anyway, I want to start. Well, you know what? Let's do this first. So I'm not even somebody that I can say I sat down and watched the game, but for all those Cowboy fans out there, sorry. Like I know that what I'm saying. Like I know my son, he is an avid Cowboy fan, and it affects his day. Does anybody else feel like that? Like when the Cowboys don't win, like it's a bad day.
No,
Don't bother you.
it used to.
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, I'm just like I think that um, some people, I guess, I saw where people were like, "Don't come for me, don't start with me, I don't want y'all, saying nothing, blah blah blah, kind of thing." And I guess that's how you are when you are a true fan. That you really really feel it is an emotional type thing, right?
Don't, man. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you were a little sad.
Uh, yeah. Not sad to the point where it affected my day. You
Well,
know,
I mean,
I wanted them to win, just
yeah,
like everybody
yeah.
else wanted
But
them to win.
I feel like I think you go to sleep. I think it seemed like you'll just fall asleep.
I mean, shoot, if we get into it, what do I do? I'm just gonna go to sleep. It'll go. I mean, it'll go away. I don't. It's not big to me anymore. To now, I look at it like it's a episode of Power, or episode of a series that I watch. So
Okay.
the season is over,
Yeah.
and the season don't always end like I want it to end.
Right, right, right.
So even with the series that I watch, which might be Power, might be BMF, might be something like that, but I don't pay it no mind no more.
Exactly. Let it get you.
Yeah, I mean, however it end, it shoot just how it
That's
end.
what it is, right? Because for sure, the only person getting paid, well, it's not the fans. So, I guess it's not, you shouldn't take it to heart like that. But I know some do, so no offense to anybody. But anyway, so let's talk about this because I thought this was very interesting. In a world of everything being, you know, what AI driven and all of that. So Ford makers, the car makers, Ford Auto, whatever, they have a patent pending. And here's the thing. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get it to be okay for self-driving cars to drive away from owners who don't pay their car notes. And that is so crazy to me. But listen, if you got to afford a new one, right, and you don't pay your car note, so it says that they don't. That's not the first thing they do. They say here's the thing. They said first what they'll do is they'll start shutting down some of the things that some of the amenities, right? Like your AC will stop working. So for those, especially in Texas, you driving a car don't have no AC, you gonna be hot. And so that they like, look, pay this car note, you ain't gonna have no air. Okay, that'd be one of the first thing they do. And then they say, okay, keep going, keep playing with them. Then what they do is they will start playing some annoying sounds through your music. So you won't get your radio or your, what I'm saying, your music from your whatever you use. They gonna start playing some music for you. Probably some. They probably got a theme song about you paying your car note or something. Ain't no telling. But they said it will be something annoying that they'll be putting through the audio. Right now, they'll do multiple things. Start shutting down some of those nice amenities that you have, and then it's like, okay, probably 3 months out, then the car will
Drive itself.
drive itself away. Listen, to a repo, man. Yes. So there's that. So if you be warned, you are hereby warned. You get a new Ford, make sure you paying your car on time because they about to have that car
Oh
drive away.
man,
How about that?
man, they take money off the repo man. Like,
Yeah, I thought about that too. I'm like, so the repo man is about to start losing out, especially on Fords. I mean, everybody not gonna do it, but yeah, the Ford people, look, the repo man just need an office, and the car's gonna drive to them. So they may give them, still that. because you got to go pick it up from him, and he gonna charge you, right? Storage fee or whatever. So hey, listen, if you gonna buy a new Ford, make sure that you have every intention of paying your note.
I'll say, way to go.
Hey, okay.
Um,
I think it's a good idea, and it keeps the repo. I mean, because sometimes these people run out with a gun. You know what I'm saying? Thinking somebody done stole their car or something, or trying to steal it. It's like you see that car rolling off behind a tow, and
man,
people be pulling out their gun. So in this case,
you
you
don't have
pull
to
out a
worry. I
gun,
guess it is safer.
yeah,
It's
you
just
you
gonna
just busting out your window.
it's just gonna drive off. I don't. I You know what? I disconnect the battery before
I
I.
feel like they gonna have a fail say something
They
that
better have something. They better
yeah.
have something because I'm gonna disconnect it. If I'm behind on my payments, I'm gonna disconnect the battery.
I wonder, like, if you, what if you keep your car in the garage? You know what I'm saying? Like, then is the thing gonna try to just
Right,
zoom out
just
the
zoom out the
garage?
garage, turn the garage up.
Yeah, that's destructive. That would be destructive. But
Rip said he hit a car in plain sight for 8 months.
wow,
I don't even know how you got away with that one.
wow.
So the address wasn't on there because usually they go through all the application. All the addresses. You what 3, 5 addresses you put on the application. Those are the places they frequent the most. So that place definitely it must not have been on the application.
Wow. Yeah.
He said disconnected battery ain't shit. I guess they would have an alternate power source to start the car up.
Right. That's what I feel like. If they're gonna do all those things that they're gonna do, they're gonna say, you know what? What if they disconnect the battery? What they probably got a backup situation or something, some battery power or something.
He say park right behind it. Now I know personally, I know of a guy. He used to park his car behind, the car. They towed the car that was behind it. Well, they ain't towed it, they moved it.
Mm-hmm.
Pulled that car out,
Right.
pulled that other car back in,
Wow.
and took the car.
Wow. Wow. Hey, I guess by any means necessary to get their car. So yeah, that's what it is. But like I say, this whole Ford situation, this is probably a lot of cars will start going that way because if Ford is trying to get this introduced, and somebody else is gonna follow. Somebody else is gonna follow. Like General Motors will probably do it next.
Hyundai, whoever.
Huh?
Hyundai.
Right. Right. So y'all be aware of that because listen, I mean, at the end of the day, um, like they said, they will do other things first. First of all, when the air get cut off in Texas heat, that'd be the first thing.
He said they couldn't touch the other car. No, sir. I don't know. That was the only way they can get the car. They can move the car from a homeboy. Yeah.
So you saying that they actually got in the other car or
No,
pulled it or what
no.
they did?
They towed the other car. They
Oh,
didn't tow it, move, but they just moved it.
pulled it.
Right. Pulled it out
Oh,
the way,
wow,
pulled the other car out the way, dropped it, hooked the other car back up, backed it in,
wow,
dropped it, took the other car out.
wow. That yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Hey, I guess that's what they doing. That's what they
Kitty
doing.
said she knows somebody who bought a storage unit and hid theirs. That's a pretty good one.
Mhm, mhm.
That's a pretty good. But if you got the money for a storage, man, I guess you got enough money for a storage unit, but not enough for your car note. Storage units can be cheaper
Right,
than
right, yeah,
a car note.
yeah.
But how do you get to the how you get to the storage unit? Like you get somebody to take you to the storage unit?
Hey, right. That's a good question. Got to.
I mean, I
I'm
guess
sure.
nowadays you could Uber to the storage unit.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
For all the stuff we do.
Okay, that's crazy.
He said it didn't touch mine. I used to look out the window and see him sitting there mad as hell.
Wow, wow. But I've seen where some of these.
Yeah, I get where they drive it to the storage unit, but then when you at the storage unit, unless you live next door to the storage unit, you got to get back home. Maybe you live a few blocks away and you walk home, something like that. But yeah, for I still would wonder. It's like once you drop it off at the storage unit, you walking unless maybe you got a bike. Um,
I mean, surely you got somebody can pick you up. Like Kitty said, she picked somebody up.
oh, she said
So
yeah, okay, she
yeah,
pick them up.
yeah. So I mean, surely.
That's too much work, man. I don't know,
Right. Just gather that money.
man. If you put that much hustle into getting a little bread, then you ought to be all right.
Right, right. All right. So listen, did y'all see the story? I believe it went viral. It was a video of there was a student here recently that she was beating up a teacher who was 70 years old. Did you see that?
No.
So the teacher was 70 years old. And this, high school girl, she was they rolling up and down the hall. And it's all these people around them,
What you mean rolling up and
people
down
in
the
video.
rolling her up and down the
Yeah, I
hall?
mean, no, they fighting, like
The 70-year-old?
yes, with the 70-year-old.
Oh
Right,
snap!
right. And
She
so
frisky or she was it a
I mean,
she?
she was trying to hold on, I guess, help, hold on. And so the thing is like, first of all, where were the teachers to pull this apart? Now there was some people trying to say stop and all this kind of whatever, but so people were outraged about the fact that the student was doing this to the teacher, and somebody said pause, because first of all you need to know the backstory. The backstory was that the young lady had epilepsy, right? And so
The
it
one
was
who
time for
was the lady who was jumping on the 70-year-old?
the young lady, yes,
Mm.
she had epilepsy, and so to prevent her from having a seizure that I guess she felt was coming on, she needs to take her medication. Teacher snatched her bag that had her medication in it, and that's what started the fight. So let's go there. You know what I'm saying? Now, nobody condones, that at none of that, right? But why would the teacher do that? And like, did you know that this young lady had epilepsy? And even if she didn't, if this is the medication that she needs to take, then let her take it. So I felt really like it was horrible. It was a horrible fight. It was, the fact that that whole thing went down like that. But the teacher almost had to take some responsibility in that.
I think there's a more backstory. I think there's even more backstory to it
And yeah, I mean, because what sparked that her to do that?
for her
Yeah,
to snatch
right,
the
right.
medication out of her hand.
Probably some jazzy
Kids. Well,
talking.
you got jazzy talking, and you got kids who use different things in order to get by. And I'm not saying, hey, this is just hypothetically speaking, but I know what kind of kid I was. I know kids, a lot of kids, 98%, 99% of them was just like me. And you think of whatever way you can get by. And if you got to use your pre-existing illness to get by, then you're gonna do that. So there's more. It's more backstory
Yeah, I'm
to it.
sure it was. Now they said that the young lady did have a seizure after this fight. After they pulled them apart or whatever, she ended up having a seizure. So
There's
people were saying that they would sue the school and this and that.
That's not the end all. You got to get to the root. That's not the root of the problem. Her snatching that medication out of this little girl hand. That's not the root of the problem.
Right,
So you got to get down to the root of it. Why did she even get to the point where she was not a teacher? Teachers usually have patience. That's why they teach us.
right.
So what made this teacher lose her patience?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, and so here's the thing. You think about. I put that in your Instagram, by the way. So you think about that. This is why teachers are like leaving, they're quitting, it's like, man, I just cannot do, what I'm saying, like students go put these teachers through a lot. And you know the teachers are there to, they're supposed to be there to give instruction, right? But I feel like they shouldn't have to parent or fight with these kids or whatever. But
Man, should they put body cams on teachers?
um and what good is that going to do? Just tell the story after?
I mean, if the body cam is on while before and even after, I mean, it's not a situation where you just turn it on
Right,
before you go snatch the medication.
right,
But if there were things that happened, if there were interactions before
right,
the snatching of medication, if you got your body cam
right,
on, yeah,
right,
you
right,
will be able
right,
to see that.
right, right. Yeah, agreed. But I mean, I just, I don't know, like, I feel like, why are students bold enough that they feel like, I'm teacher, I'm gonna jump on you, I'm gonna fight you, I'm gonna beat you, what I'm saying, for a grown, like grown, somebody grown, that's your grandmother age, girl. Why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Fighting a
Yeah,
teacher that, that's
kids say there is becoming a need for teachers and nurses. Said
Right.
we are effed. Uh, I think cameras in the rooms, maybe. I think
Yeah.
cameras should
In the
be
classrooms.
in each classroom the
Yeah.
same way they are in some of the daycares.
Yeah.
I know that's a lot of wiring or whatever, but shoot, the same wiring you running to do the intercom, shoot, run a wire for the camera.
Right.
It's intercoms in every room.
Yeah.
So
Because right now we're relying on whatever the kids catch. The other kids catch
right, they
when
don't
they're
turn their
listening.
phones on until
Right.
it's at
Because it's
the
there.
end.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't turn the phone on when this person is riling the teacher up, or when this person, we all mess with the teacher
Right.
before, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And with these cameras or with these camera phones, all we catching is the end when the teacher snap.
Yeah.
And we know we acting like this teacher has no patience or has no self control, but we don't know the interactions
Right.
that was going on
Right.
before that.
Right. 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 I feel like they need like some type of button that they can push under their desk that'll call, you know, an emergency situation,
Kids
somebody
say if
down
they
there.
say if they're doing it at school, they're doing it at home too. Oh well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I guess the discipline, the repercussions are not harsh enough.
Mhm. Well, you know what I've come to learn is that a lot of parents are doing what they call soft parenting, right?
What's that? No ass whoopings.
I well, somebody explain that because that's what I understand is that soft parenting means I don't even know if you even fuss at your kids, but you just kind of be like, okay, go in the corner or something like that. But they're calling it soft parenting to where so they don't really, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like the kids are like, what's gonna happen when I get home?
My thing with that is, how can you soft parent somebody who looks at hardcore rap?
Mm, right,
So
right.
they're developing, a hard mentality
Hmm.
while you trying to soft parent,
Yeah,
and it just don't seem like it's a good combination.
right.
Kitty said King class in forward didn't get cameras until she rallied for it, and she was like, "This is special ed class for your information." Yeah, I mean, they probably definitely need cameras in special ed or any of the special needs classes, stuff like that. Definitely want to get some cameras. Let's see what the heck is going on. What I feel like cameras should be in all the rooms with the technology we have nowadays. Yeah, just put cameras in all the rooms.
Yeah,
But yeah, soft parenting, and like I say, the kids are watching, hardcore content. We
right.
just don't go together. And I ain't even necessarily don't even have to be rap. It could be shoot. It could be TikToks. I mean, mean stuff is on. It's all over the place, all over social media, all over the internet. Just mean and heartless stuff. And when you get mean and heartless stuff in your mental, and your mom and your daddy is trying to soft parent you, it just this just sound like something bad.
Right, right.
Uh, Kitty said, "Don't work." I had to line it up with King a week ago. F these kids. She say these
Okay.
kids are new. These kids are definitely new.
Oh my God.
They're definitely different.
Yes,
They feel entitled.
very much so.
These kids nowadays they feel entitled. I think we go out of our way to give our kids what we didn't have, and it kind of backfired.
Mhm.
You know,
Well, and here's the thing because the kids know that if you whoop them, guess what they can do? Call 911 and get you in trouble. So then there you go. Like, I believe that our kids know that now. That listen, you can't whoop me anyway, and that's how they even feel with the teachers in class. It's like, what you gonna do? Because they know that if, as an adult, you hit this child, then you're gonna get the backlash. So back in the day, you just got a whooping. You just took it. It was like, hey, okay, I got a whooping. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't no, you had somebody to call or come get my mom because she about to whip me. Okay, boy, bye. Hang this phone up. It wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? And now it's different. These kids know
I think
what they can get away with.
I think there was more of a sense of authority back in the day.
Hmm.
Even without weapons, there was more of a sense of authority back in the day.
Right, 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 right.
Now,
Or well, students were getting paddled at school back in the
yeah,
day.
they was getting
Yeah.
paddled at school,
Hmm.
but just respected authority more. Now these kids feel like they're on the same level with you. Some of them feel like they're smarter than you because they got Google.
Yeah.
So it's just like Kitty said, these kids are new.
Hmm.
Let me see what Clyde said. It was a time when teachers used to beat. So I had a teacher named Mr. Adams who was brutal. He said, now it's the other way around. I look back, Mr. Adams' method worked. He said, we behaved, and we
Right.
graduated.
Right. Right.
And that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. These kids nowadays, a lot of these kids decide, hey, I don't want to go to school no more. School ain't for me.
Mhm.
And when I was growing up, if you utter those words, first of all, you're gonna get beat down. You're gonna take an ass whooping, and you're gonna take her ass to school the next day. And you're gonna be in every single class because she's gonna check behind you. You miss any class or you taught it in the class, you're gonna get your ass beat again. But it just,
Right. You used to get a whooping at school then and get home get a whooping.
yeah,
So right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
So yeah, this
go.
is different. This is a whole different time now. These kids got a whole lot of leeway and a whole lot of room to just do what they want to do.
But it's also, I guess, it's two sides to the coin. Because I look at, we see stuff on social media, these parents going up here and abusing these kids in front of everybody or at the school. And, somebody got the camera
Mm-hmm.
showing the parent hitting the kid upside the head or whatever the case. And
Mm-hmm.
it looks brutal.
Yeah.
It looks brutal. It's like, I saw one and mama was talking. I mean, just like we used to get beat down, with every lick. It's like, oh, you want to act a fool, huh? Whap. You want to whap, But
But I mean, so you saying they didn't deserve it?
it just looked brutal.
Yeah.
It just looked brutal looking at it, on camera or whatever case. And it was probably brutal back in the day.
Right.
But like Clyde said, we minded and we graduated.
Right. There you go.
Just as he said, humiliation. True.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely humiliation, especially if you put it on social media, somebody recording it or whatever.
Right.
Back in the day, it wasn't no recording. It was just, you just had your memory. I remember when so and so got a whooping, in the cafeteria or whatever. Nowadays, you can record it, send it out for the world to see. She even got your tail beat in the cafeteria. So,
Right. Everybody knows.
right, I get it with the humiliation part, but it's got to be a medium in there. It's got to be some kind of way that you can discipline these kids. Um, because like once again, they getting rougher, they getting harder. We didn't necessarily have access to the things they have access to.
Right.
And these kids mean nowadays.
Yeah.
Attitudes is, man, not right.
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
Just AD said it's not everyone else's business, and that's true. But when these kids run to school and be like, or if they get in trouble at school and they break down crying to oh, my mom's gonna beat me when I get home,
Right.
boom,
Right.
CPS gets involved.
Yeah. That's it.
So, Shawnee B, what's going on, man? One of the dopest comedians in the DFW area, man. You right there, Shawnee
Hey,
B.
Shani. Okay, so now while we're on this whole student thing, so there was a teacher. She said she teaches. She said I teach these 5-year-old girls ballet, and she said that these girls. She said she tries to play the whole the princess music and this and that. She said these girls are like, we don't want to hear that. They're 5-year-olds, right? They want to hear what's the
Pound Town.
Pound Town. What in the world? Why do 5-year-olds want to hear that? What is going on? What are we listening to in front of our kids?
See, man.
OMG.
Mm. Clyde said it's a sign of the times. That social media and politics shift the paradigm. Say, I don't worry about the generation after. He say, I worry about the generation after this young generation. He say, I think we ain't seen nothing yet. I think that's true. We gotta, I don't know. We gotta somehow get a hold of our kids. We gotta, get a grasp on our kids, raise our kids, and
Right.
don't let social media, like you said, social media and politics or social stuff, um, raise your kids instead of you.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right. They're being raised by tablets and computers and YouTube and TikTok, and so that's where they're getting their information from, right? But 5-year-old little girls.
I mean, when they have access to that
What?
type of information, I mean, I just had a talk with with my niece. Um, she was on TikTok, Snapchat, and Instagram, and I removed those from her tablet because she ain't old enough. She's 9 years old, and it says for you to be 13 years old to be on social media. But a lot of her friends are on there, so you have a lot of kids who have access to that. But unfortunately, in this home, you're not gonna have access to that type of stuff. You're not ready to digest that type of stuff. I learned from raising my kids, I learn from raising a stepson that influence you got to have control over these influences. These kids, man, it's adults out here who look at social media and believe that stuff is real. So definitely, when if the kids look at it on social media, they're gonna think that stuff is
Right.
real.
Right.
So yeah, I think we ain't seen nothing yet either. But I think with that, with us knowing that, I think that we got a chance to save, the next generation. If we do what we're supposed to do.
Right.
And you can't be lazy as parents about it. Like you got to raise your kids. And, I'm not totally against notebooks and iPads and phones and all this stuff. But that means that's something you got to police. You can't just hand it to them and go on about your business. That's something that you got to regularly police.
Right.
The energy that you use to pacify these kids, you're gonna have to use that to police what the kids are watching and what these kids are taking in. So it's six in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Ramona Carter, what is going on? Norris J, my brother,
Hey, bro.
what's going on?
So, because here's the thing. The thing with that um, is so. Let's say you, as a parent, you're watching what your kid does. But is everybody doing that? Everybody that they are
Uh,
befriending and associated with,
nope,
are they doing the same?
nope.
Because it only takes that one. Oh, you should do this, or you should. You know, okay. So I know of a situation where a little girl, she took nude pictures of herself and sent it out to somebody, right? And now it gets spread around the school. Well, why did she do that? Was because she felt like she needed to fit in. Now, fit in. Who else is doing that? Right? Like if you as a 13-year-old little girl feel like I'm gonna send these new pictures so I can, be like everybody else, like all the other girls, they doing it. So those friends, those are not your friends. Like, how do we have control over who their friends are? That's the thing. Like, is bad influences are everywhere. They're
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah, they're everywhere. Clyde McGee said it's the parents' fault.
Yeah.
He says it's on the parents. Ramona said it starts at home. He said, listen, if I can't raise you, move around. You say 5 years old. I said, no, man, that's great, great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, 5 years old, that's pretty young. But these parents
Do you think
nowadays,
that when they took prayer out of school, do you think that had any effect on how things are going now?
it's the beginning.
Hmm.
Uh, I think taking prayer out of school, you got to replace it with something.
Hmm.
Prayer kind of set the tone for how you was gonna be in school.
Okay.
So you got to use something else to set the tone.
Right. Right. And so, what are they doing now? How
I
does
don't
school
know.
start these days?
I don't know.
Do we have any teachers out there? Because I'm interested in knowing how does school start now? Like, do they still do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Probably,
Mm-hmm.
probably, and that's just as bad as prayer. If you want to take out a prayer, take out the Pledge of Allegiance.
Mm. Mm. Because I wonder if like they start with some rap song or something to get the kids hyped. You know what I'm saying? Something that they feel like hey, let's hype these kids up so we can get them ready for this star test or whatever the case may be.
I mean, they do that. I
Hmm.
know they do that or whatever, but
Right.
it ain't always about hyping kids up. Sometimes you got to settle down, buckle up, especially when you're in school. Ain't about hyping you up. Like you need to settle down and
Right.
get ready, to
Right.
take in some knowledge.
Right. Right.
Um, Kitty said it ain't always about the parents. She said she come from a wholesome household, but my upbringing was not considered in some of my decisions. That's all of us, though. Um, in that case, first of all, you grown. You seem to be an upstanding individual as far as your adulthood or whatever case. It's the parenting isn't as far as how you act because there's plenty of times that you get in trouble and your parents be like, "I ain't raised you like that."
Right. Right. Right.
But
Right.
if they told you that, then they're parenting.
Mm.
If they there to tell you that, then they parenting. Yeah, they don't. The decisions were not of the family, but your overall upbringing
Right.
is from the family. Where you are today comes from the family. It's times when you feel like you're hopeless. It's like, man, this stuff ain't sinking in. Whatever. I know my mama. man, I put her through the ring, and I know for a fact, I brought her to tears on many times acting a fool, but she stayed diligent with it, and I appreciate her for it because I'm here today without a felony, without prison time because of her diligence. It was only so far I would go. Yeah, I was a kid. I got in trouble. I got suspended, whatever the case. And but it was only so far I would go. If she was not on top of me like that, I probably would have went further. So I just feel like, yeah, even with that, it is on the parent.
Yeah.
It is on the parent. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's always on the parent,
Right.
whether it's working or not.
Right.
It's always on the parent.
Right.
You
Right.
got to continue to be a parent even through the times when they ain't listening. So yeah,
Well, and just because a kid turns 18 and they graduate high school, you still got a parent. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that loud and proud and strong. That some of these kids are not ready. They not. So we still need to keep parenting them. We still need to give them advice or something. Like they're not already. They're not.
no, I say, Mama used to beat your tail.
Okay, wait a minute. Because I think there were some whooping parties or something. Like everybody came over with a belt or something. I'm like, who are you that you was getting whoopings like that? Like that is crazy.
Oh my God,
That is
yeah,
crazy.
man. Family members used to come over, man. It's like they would come over and it's like a meeting or a party or whatever. They, have something to eat or have something to drink, congregate. And each one to go in and beat my ass. And, it'd be
Like,
two, three,
what?
four of them. And, my mom, my uncle, my granny might get in on it. It's like, be multiple people, man.
Wow.
They all come in. It's crazy. They all come in and talk to me, tell me, I need to do better. No, 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 no. I don't want to have to do what I'm about to do to you, but you did it to yourself. No, no, no,
You
no.
hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you.
Man, now bend over this bed.
Oh my God.
And it was,
Woo.
but it worked. It worked. I don't know what
Did it put a
these,
fear in you or what?
not at first,
Yeah.
because this happened multiple times. It
Mm-hmm.
ain't like it was just one
Right.
whooping party or whatever.
Right.
We talking about a few, maybe four, five, six of these boys before it finally clicked in. But I wanted to buck the system so bad. Like, I'm gonna do what the hell I want to do.
Right.
Give a damn how many y'all can beat shot
So
of
I
me.
wonder how long did you go, do this and that before your mom put out the clarion call? Like how many times did you do something before she called everybody over?
Man, lots of times.
Oh, so she let you get away with it multiple times.
No, she ain't never. I never got away
Well,
with
I'm
it.
saying like you did something, okay. You did something else, okay. And another time, okay, then she called
No,
him over.
no. Usually it's one time.
Oh,
Oh, it's
okay.
one. Okay, it's beatings the rest of the way. So it was
Wow.
like, okay, it's not enough for me to do it. She's basically, I don't have the energy to get this nigga all 500 lashes I want to give him. So I'm gonna call my people over here, and we're gonna do, 125 piece,
Ooh.
175 a piece,
Oh
and we're
my
gonna get
God.
this knocked out.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, I mean, my mom was she was pretty stern. It wasn't no talking.
Right.
You disrespect her, or you disrespect her upbringing, as far as how she brought you up. You go out here in this world, you act a fool, she gonna act the same fool with you. So it wasn't a whole lot of talking. She'll tell you one time, and that's enough. The next time and each time after that is gonna be action.
Wow.
And I was just at a point I was very, very belligerent. It was like, I'm gonna do what the hell I want to do.
Mhm.
So, and finally it just clicked in. I got to the point, like most of these kids are, they feel like the world is against them. I feel like my mama didn't love me, but it was my fault. It was the things that I was doing. And it finally clicked in that, hey, you know, she ain't beat me because for the hell of it.
Right.
I'm doing things to get this,
Right.
get in trouble.
Then, but you didn't realize that until you were grown, right?
No,
Oh, okay. Okay.
no. I realized it probably in middle school.
Oh, okay.
Middle school was my worst time. Elementary school, I was bad. Middle school, I was worse.
Mm.
And then by the time I made it to high school, it was like, okay, man, go with the flow. She asked you to do something, do it.
Right.
It was so, yeah, it was. Let me holler at Ramona. Ramona said, I'm here to parent. She said, mine is 18 and I still, what?
Yeah. Clyde said the screen froze, but they can hear us.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay, we working on. Thank you, Clyde.
Mm-hmm. Ramona said, I'm here to parent. She said hers is 18 and she still do a phone swipe. She said, I still Take care of. Oh, I still take care of you, honey. Christy Paul Johnson. I feel like taking prayer messed up some stuff. Start class by sit down and let's get to work. And that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. Start class by sit down and let's get to work.
Right. Right.
Yeah, instead
Yeah.
of getting people hyped up and all that other good stuff.
I mean, at the end of the day, in some instances, I feel like they, especially with those TAs and whatever those tests are that
Yeah,
they try to get good
they
scores.
have whole pep rallies for that.
Yeah, okay, they do pep rallies and things like that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, with them doing that, trying to, get the kids, rah rah behind them or whatever. Um, but I'm just wondering, like, what I see. Ramicia is here now. I'm wondering, like, what do they use? Like, what kind of music do they? Are they surf swagging or swag surfing at
Mm,
the schools,
they doing it
or
at church for sure.
hey, we know they do it at church. Are they doing it at schools? So, are they walking it out at the school? I'm just wondering, like, how are we, you know, what's that one that you like to play? Uh, we don't need no music. You better hype your bestie up or something. I don't know.
Oh.
We don't need no beat. What is it?
That's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I'm just wondering what are they doing, to get the kids worked up or whatever.
That'll get them hyped up right there.
Yeah.
That'll get them hyped up. Rhonda said, Johnny Judah, I feel like we all are living on bank up prayers from G Mom and them, and that's true. I'm here today from prayer from my mom and my grandmother, my aunt. You know, wasn't a lot of male figures. My uncle was there. He was doing more beating than praying. But I mean, it was a concerted effort from everybody. Everybody did their part. One person did the physical part, the other person did the spiritual part. So all in all, man, I appreciate every bit of it. I do because it could have been worse. I grew up, man. My mom uh, made me walk or had me walk to the boys' club, which was a long way. If you know anything about Fort Worth, walking from Morningside Middle School to the Panther Boys Club on Hemphill and Allen, that's a long way to be walking. But in that walk, I walked by a lot of crack houses. I walked by a lot of gangbangers, a lot of drug dealers, and a lot of my friends. Instead of when we was on our walk to the boys' club, they veered off. But if I veered off, my mom was coming looking for me, and everybody in the neighborhood knew that. Even if I veered off and went over here, they'd be like, "Hey, bro, you need to take that to the boys' club. 'Cause your mama will come out here looking for all of us." It was kind of a known type of situation. So, and I appreciate that. I do, because it could have been much worse. Some of them same guys that I was running off with, man, some of them on two and three bids, just getting out, or, got things on their record, whatever. I wouldn't. My mom was diligent, and I appreciate it. And it's I ain't gonna say luck, but the grace of God, because I could have very easily been. Wasn't nothing wrong, with those kids or whatever. I don't know what the parenting situation was over there. I know a lot of them parents was like my mom was, but for whatever reason, I slid through the cracks. I don't ask no questions. I appreciate it. Bottom line. Um, Misha said, "What are the things you were doing as a kid that got you in trouble?"
Mm.
It's pretty simple. If there was a right and a wrong way, I was choosing the wrong way. If it was talking shut up, I talk. It was just, I don't know. For me, it was a rush to do the wrong thing. It was almost like a drug, almost like dopamine for me to do the wrong thing. And don't let me fool around and get away with it. And that was a real big rush. So, and you never really thought of think about getting caught. I always say people don't think about getting caught. That's why when you ask people, even as adults, and this is immature, especially immature. I can only speak for me as a man, but when you ask your dude, why did you do that? He'd be like, I don't know. He don't know because he didn't think about getting caught. He never thought about having to explain why he did what he did because nigga don't think about getting caught. And that's how I was when I was young. I didn't think about getting caught. And that's something that gets you slapped upside the head. You do something wrong and your mama asks you, well, why'd you do it? Oh no. That's a 1-2 punch right there. But I really didn't know because I never considered getting caught. I never considered being, any kind of punishment. Uh, he said any kind of music that the kids are familiar with, but without explicit lyrics. I don't know what that was the answer to. What was that answer to?
Maybe like I was saying, as far
Oh,
as
oh,
like
oh! I think she's a teacher too.
oh, okay, okay, Miss, you're a teacher. I saw Ramisi on here too, and I know she has elementary kids. So
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Say any kind of music that the kids are familiar with, but without explicit lyric. What music is that?
maybe they have to have somebody cut it out.
Stuff is so suggestive nowadays. Like there's a clean version of Pound Town.
Mm, mm,
You know, I always talk about being a DJ, and I DJ at some of these elementary schools and stuff, and you play the clean version of some of these songs, and they say the cussing version.
right. Kids
Teacher
gotta
can
know.
teacher get mad at me. I'm like, man, I ain't the one. My music ain't cussing.
Yeah.
They the ones know the version. You need to holler at their parents for exposing them to the explicit version of the song.
Right.
I'm
Right.
playing the clean version.
You know, I'm gonna say this too. It seems like we always point to the parents. Now, think about the fact that a lot of times, sometimes, parents they do as much policing as they can, but they cannot control everything the kids are listening to or watching or whatever. Because a lot of times it's not even done at their house, right? Just think about when the kids go to school, they're going to get access to whatever those kids know.
Hmm.
And so it's really like, how much control do you actually have over what these kids are listening to or what
Man,
they hear
you
or,
you
you
don't
know?
you
Right,
don't.
right,
I remember in middle school, kids were circulating porn through phones, sending
right,
links to the phones or whatever.
right.
So you don't have a whole lot of access to it, but you can arm your kids for when they do encounter it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they know when they encounter something that they ain't supposed to be seeing.
Right,
They know when they're supposed to turn their head and not look at it, or
right,
continue to indulge in it.
right,
So you have to first of all get your kids to understand that that stuff is out there,
mm-hmm.
but it's not for your consumption.
Right,
That's adult stuff. Leave that stuff alone. Leave that stuff
right,
alone.
right,
Um, he just said I sound like her son. He say he tells his friends all the time he can't do X because I'm crazy, and I'm okay with that. And that's yeah. My mom, yeah. Everybody knew my mom was off.
right.
So
Yeah,
Clyde said I was blessed to have a tribe who raised him. He said my next door neighbor, my aunt, my older brother, etc. I had a variety of people on my ass, and that's what it was for me. It was a village. I had teachers who cared about me, um, so they ain't had no problem disciplining me or whatever the case, and letting my mom know. And yeah, there was a village. Dad wasn't really there. My uncle was there, and my mom, my aunt, my grandma, my great grandma. So it was a village. It was a village of women. To be honest with you, more women than anything that looked out for me. A couple of guys at the boys' club that I was going to looked out for me, kept me out of trouble, and I appreciate them as well. Um, he said that's a good topic. People who think ahead and people who don't, because I actually consider the consequences. I ain't think about considering the consequences until I got older, and I did teach my kids that, and it looks as if it's working for them. It's like you got to think ahead before you do things. You have to think, what's the absolute worst thing that could happen from whatever I'm doing right here. Don't think so much about getting away with it or what you could gain from it. What's the worst thing that can happen, and let that affect your decision more than the upside of it.
and I think that a lot of people need to think that way because I don't think that's something you don't really tell your child now. Think about what will happen if this happens, kind of thing. You don't consider that. Go ahead and take that.
What?
Go ahead, Tom.
Misha said to make my students the most comfortable in class, I asked them to tell me their favorite genres. I learned I really like country and I can stomach some rock because of my students. Yeah, well, I'm a DJ, so I listen to it all. Um, I listen to a little bit of country. I listen to a little bit of rock, alternative rock. I can't get into the metal or the hard rock. I can't. I ain't too much for that. But whew, as far as the kids, you probably got a melting pot of people in your class. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you got some Tejano up in that mug. I know that's one thing that as a DJ, I had to learn how to start playing. I had to get that Spanish music in because living in Texas, there's plenty of that. He said kids know what to repeat or not to repeat if they have a parent who sets those boundaries. Said, but we know there are so many kids growing up in negative situations and they bring it to school. Parents will be hella surprised if they found out all the things that occur at school: sex, drugs, weapons, porn, racism, etc. And we're talking about starting in elementary school. God dog. Sex, drugs, weapons, porn, racism. In elementary school, man.
Wow.
That's oof. Yeah. I'm fighting against that, man, right now today. Well, we got a third grader and a fourth grader right now.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to control those influences. It was easy for me when I had my two. They were in private school. So, they were kind of policed
Right.
at school.
That was a different because you know what I tell people that I said, and when we were raising Lyric and Trey, like it was things were very minor, very little. You know what I'm saying? So I think we got spoiled. I feel like that's what got
Yeah.
spoiled. Now y'all ain't really do
Right.
nothing.
I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send y'all.
Oh my God.
Because it's different now. We
Oh
got
my
a couple
God.
of public school kids, man. I love my niece and nephew, man. I love them to life, but their environment and their influences, man. What we're fighting against is so much different. Like I say, I patted myself on the back for trying lyric. I was like, y'all ain't did.
Right. Oh,
You
okay.
niggas
Hold
ain't
on.
did nothing.
Oh
We
my
drop these
God.
public school kids. Whew,
What?
it's different.
Because that's what I want to know is how do you have a real how do you have a job like you go to every day and you got to go to the school every day because something your kid did to you. How does that work? How does that work for people who work 9 to 5?
Yeah.
Where can you work and you got to go to the school every day, every other day because uh so and so did this, so and so did that. So it's like, oh my God, how does that
Man,
happen?
I'm gonna tell you what it is. I duped my wife into marry me without telling her what my karma was for my childhood, and I was a wayward kid, and I stayed on top of my kids. They were not wayward kids. I thought I got away with it, and I got my niece and my nephew, and then they ain't bad. You know what I'm saying? They're not. They me. They're not bad, but when you got right here, you got wrong over here. They're gonna choose wrong just because they felt like it. And I'm just getting back, what I was putting out, times 10, because I'm 50 plus now. Trying to look after these kids, and I don't have the energy for all that. So yeah, God, he hit me with that karma. I had to go and admit to my wife. I was like, man, I'm probably getting back. I'm
Oh
probably-
my
she was like, what kind of kid was you?
God, right. What is this? Oh my God.
Let me look at
Lord.
some of these comments, man. Dang, my camera is just
You froze again?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Devil is busy. He don't want me to
Fix
get this
fix it, y'all.
information
I
out.
see it. Got it fixing it now.
Um, Ron said, "Look, I don't need you. I don't send you to school to listen to music. I send you to learn." He said, "That's right, Johnny. And I bet your friends respect your mom. Chrissy know what's not right. That's why they hide what they do. That's wrong. Yeah, yeah." He said it was a different time, even if it was just 5 years ago. These kids now, whew. Yeah, yeah. We 10 years removed. We went backwards in the time machine about 10 years, and yeah, these kids different, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
These kids and these parents different, because now you got a situation where you might have parents that might not have had the best upbringing, and they having kids,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's just like they always say, the generations just get worse and worse.
Right. And I think I do believe too that when you are your age makes a difference, right? Like in your 30s and your early 40s, and you have, young kids, then there's one thing. But when you get in the upper, 50s, where at the age where people have grandkids and you got young ones that you're raising, that's a different thing. It's different because, you have a different level of patience and even the energy. So, yeah, yeah, all of that matters.
Uh, he said they don't come to the school. They answer the phone, and some parents side with the admin, but some parents fault the schools. It's tough. Yeah, yeah. I I think parents and teachers are a little bit different because I think you got more parents now. I mean, more teachers now, where it's just a check. And still thankful
Hmm.
for those teachers who care. But for a lot of teachers, man, it's just a check, and they're not gonna put up with it. And with some of them, they don't have to put up with it. Some of these kids come with no home training, driving these teachers crazy, and so some of these teachers will go the extra mile, but some of these teachers be like, "Shit, I don't get paid for all that. I'm not the teacher and the counselor and the therapist." It's like, mm-mm. And that's when they make that paper trail. And I try to tell my kids about that. I got a nephew that's a senior in high school now, and I try to get him to understand that people create a paper trail on you,
Hmm.
and then when the big trouble comes, they pull out this big old stack of the stuff that you did and use that against you. Don't allow nobody to create a paper trail on you.
Yeah, because for example, one way that Johnny and I actually found that out when my youngest son, um, I have a son who's incarcerated for those who don't know, and so when he got in trouble in court, so they didn't have a record they could go back and say, hey, you did this, you did that. No, you know what they did? They went and said, well, in high school he had a cell phone and he got in trouble with a cell phone. It's like, um, okay, like, but they held that against him because that was all they had. They didn't have anything else to use. So, just imagine if you have some other things that like you used to fight, you did this, you did that. No, all they said with my son was, well, you got in trouble for a cell phone. So,
Man, these people, and then in her situation, man, good kid, no priors, and they use this against him, to get this man 5 decades. Get this man 5 decades for an offense that will be 5 years in Fort Worth. So you just got to watch out with that paper trail. You never know. I know kids, and I was a kid too. I ain't think about tomorrow. I ain't think about getting old. I ain't think about repercussions, nothing like that. But you have to think about that, especially nowadays, because man, the way Texas is to these black kids, boy, man, they been create a paper trail and make you look like you a misguided child. They're gonna be trying to institutionalize you, man. And psh, you got to watch out with that paper trail. You got to watch out with that paper trail. Shannon Paul, what's going on? She said, "I tell mine before you do anything. Think about is this something the Lord would do?" And that don't even work, man. Uh, Religion, God, the Lord, spirituality, it's taking a different turn. It's taking a entirely different turn. And like I always tell people, if you're gonna snatch religion up out of people's lives, then you got to put something else in place of that. You got to put some type of moral code. I always call it a moral code because with religions, I don't care. You talk about Buddha, you talk about Muslim, whatever. Most of your religions come with a moral code, and when you take that away, that means that you're going on your own moral code, which may not be as complete as a Christian moral code or a Catholic moral code or a Muslim moral code. The one thing that they do come with is a full jam packed moral code.
right. But you know what? But here's the thing: when you think about that, the religion, Christianity, all of that is being so disrespected. Like, have you seen that video? What's his name? Lil
Lil
Nas X.
Nas X, J
Who
Christ,
look? If y'all have not seen that Lil Nas X, what is it called?
J Christ.
J Christ. That is so. That must be the most disrespectful thing I ever seen in my life. On YouTube.
See, there's a flip side to that.
It's crazy.
There's a flip side to that
Hmm.
because that video was pretty creative.
Okay.
was pretty creative. I
Hmm.
can't lie.
Okay. So the creativity, the art part of it was good, but I mean, just the fact that
It disrespected every
yes,
fabric of
right.
Christianity. Well, I mean, you got a nice population out there who don't care for Christianity.
I mean, look, the stuff we doing right now in church, we swag surfing and walking it out, and all kind of stuff. Anyway, it makes people feel like y'all don't care about it. So you know,
I don't know. For me, you got to reach this demographic some kind of way, and swag surfing. I don't care. Swag surfing, walk it out the whole 9 yards. Whatever you got to do to try to draw these people in. Yeah, I wouldn't play the verses to those songs. You got to get somebody to edit those songs, whatever. But I mean, Kirk Franklin. When he started out, people said the same thing about his music. Um, even before that, you had your Al Greens, your Luther Franklins. Gospel took a lot from blues. Before it started taking stuff from hip hop and R&B, they were taking stuff from blues. And I was right on the edge where you had the older generation saying that these people are bringing the world in the church. You had the blues chords and stuff like that. Well, it's the same thing. It's just magnified now.
yeah, I get
It's the same thing. It's just magnified, and you did what you had to do in order to draw people in. Now we look back and see the old time religion with the blues chords or whatever, and that ain't nothing. But that was an abomination to people, to the older generation back then. So I don't know. You gotta do what you gotta do. But you still have to be respectful of the church. Now, my thing about the church though is if it's wrong to do it, if it's disrespectful to do in the church, then there's a 99% chance that it's disrespectful to do outside the church as well. So whether it's cursing or whatever it is that you're doing in the church that's disrespectful to the church, you do that same cussing out there in the world and you claim to be a Christian, and you disrespecting the church as well. That's the way I feel about it.
right, right, right.
And I cuss, by the way.
You never tell everybody
I mean, they know. If you know me, you know. Ramona said, kids feel like they have a voice and or an opinion. You say your opinion is keep it to yourself. It doesn't matter to me what you're thinking. I have the last say. That is not indicative of the society that we live in nowadays. Kids have a voice nowadays, and it must be heard. This whole mental health situation, stuff like that. Um, you got to hear the kids out nowadays. You, I get it. I'm with you though. To be honest with you, Rwanda, I'm like, nigga, I'm grown. I shouldn't even have to explain to you why you got to do what I tell you to do. Like I'm grown, and you not. Period.
yeah.
Period. I get up, I go to work every day, I provide, and you don't. Period. Like
I
that's
mean,
like,
see, that's how it was. Like when you didn't ask the parent why, it was like because I said so. That was just that. But you know what I'm saying? Those different generations.
I mean, it was authority.
Yeah,
It was you had authority figures back in the day, and you didn't question that authority.
right. Like we wasn't in grown folks' business. Like if my mom and them was in there talking with grown people or whatever, then we had to step out, like go to another room, whatever. But now these kids be like soaking
Right
it all
there,
in.
soaking it all in, so they can go and regurgitate it to
Right,
their buddies.
right,
Yeah, yeah. Tamika Brown, appreciate you for dropping in, man. You came in just in time for the benediction.
right. Okay. Yes, but it was one more thing that I wanted to bring up. Um, so did y'all see that about the Dr. Antoinette Candia Bailey? She was the VP of Student Affairs from, I believe it's Louisiana, or no, Louisville University or something like LU. What is LU University?
Louisville.
Maybe so. Anyway, she passed away. She committed suicide, and because she had mentioned to someone that she was being bullied, or she sent an email to some people saying that she was being bullied by her supervisor, right? The supervisor who was white, the lady who offed herself, she was African American, and he was, he kept bullying her and bothering her and kind of making her think self-esteem that she wasn't good enough for the position and this, that, and the other, and she ended up killing herself. So, um, wow, I don't. I'm just wondering, like, will they hold him accountable for that? Can somebody be held accountable for someone committing, you know, deleting themselves?
I know I saw a Netflix movie on something like that, and they actually charged the girl with bullying, some type of bullying or mental type of situation.
Mm.
I think she basically told the dude, "If you're gonna kill yourself, go ahead and do it."
Oh, okay. Well, that was real life, wasn't it?
Hmm.
Oh,
And she ended up catching a charge behind that.
okay. Okay.
So depending on what the lawyers, how good your lawyers are, how well they can twist it, I figure.
Right. Right. That's crazy. That's
I,
crazy.
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to fathom being bullied as an adult.
Right, right. Because it seems like now, okay, let's think about, sometimes people say if they're bullying you online, all you have to do is just log off, right?
Mhm.
But what about, this is somebody you go to work every day and this person is bothering you. You know what I'm saying? Every day is something. They bother you. They messing with you. They're trying to tell you you didn't do this, you didn't do that, whatever. And what do you do in that situation? Do you decide to leave that job? What do you do? How do you get out of that?
I'll leave that job.
Yeah.
I mean, now,
Well,
no,
he
now
had a pretty prestigious position at a university, so I think it wasn't that simple for him.
it's never simple.
Yeah,
It's never simple. If you got a prestigious position, depending on how long you was there, all of that goes on your resume.
right, right.
It's about your peace, though.
Yeah,
You got to find your peace, and
especially if it took her to that
right
level.
now, it's different. Who did you go to? uh who'd you go to back in the day? Well, not even back in the day, even now, for the racial situations, or if you feel like
Oh,
being,
like the NAACP or
it ain't even
the
NAACP.
ACLU.
Yeah, stuff like that. It was,
Uh-huh.
but it was job. It was, if I heard the initials, I know what they are. But any of those, you
Okay.
could go to those, and
EEOC.
EEOC,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
EEOC, and file an EEOC complaint.
Yeah.
And shoot, I know people who did that at AT&T. I know people who kept their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a result,
Mm-hmm.
and basically kept management up off of their back
Right.
as a result.
Right. Right. Right.
So, you know, it's different avenues. Now I don't know with this prestigious position. Who knows? It might have been, but for me, man, my peace, man, that's more valuable than money nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, I take a pay cut for my peace. Literally, as a matter of fact, that's why I'm DJing. I took a pay cut, you know what I'm saying, for mental stability, for my own peace.
Right.
You know, I was thinking about that yesterday as I was packing up in sub freezing degrees. It was 14, 15 degrees, and I'm finna drive on this ice back home. But I used to do that to go to a $25, $30 hour job that I ain't even like.
Right.
So I definitely, I don't have no problem doing it for a job that I
Yeah.
do like. So yeah, for my peace, man, I take that pay cut for my peace.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, there we go. We got some. Uh, you got something to read?
No, no, I'm good. That's
Oh, okay.
that's Derek the Upgrade Bolt, man. One of the best motorcycle mechanics out here. He built some hellified machines out there, custom
All right.
cycles out there, man.
All right. Well, there's another one in the book.
We appreciate y'all.
Yes. Yes,
We
we do.
appreciate everybody who watch, man. Y'all go out there and y'all tell a friend, bring somebody back with you. We'll try not to freeze next week, and I'll try to get on top of that stuff, man. But still a good show though.
Yeah.
Oh, he said he got a mean burger too. I'm gonna try your burger out. You gotta let me know where you are, man. I see some stuff where you out, in the streets or whatever. But let me know, man. I'll support. I love a good burger. So let me know. I got you. Clyde McGee, appreciate you, bro, for dropping in. Appreciate you for keeping us on our toes. Everybody, once again, man, share this thing out. Put on your page. Friday at the shop. What am I doing Friday? Good night to you as well, Ramona. Is it during the day? What time, there? You might have to inbox it to me because I'm finna get on up off of here. If it's during the day, I'll definitely get out there. During the evening, I'm a DJ.
All right. Okay, y'all. Thank you again, and we will see y'all next Monday, same jazz time.
Same jazz
All right. Be blessed.
channel. 12 to 7. I can go for lunch. That's what's up. Okay.